Alright everyone, hello and welcome to a new video. This is going to be update on the road to console port for Euro Truck Simulator 2 and also for American Truck Simulator. And today we're going to be talking about on why there was no much news regarding that we last heard back in October. Now like I say, SCS also released a video on this regarding the road to consoles. Now the main reason why obviously it's taken so long is because of SCS's 30-year-old Prism 3D, which is the game's engine that they use for Euro Truck Simulator and American Truck. Now, SCS have had a few problems along the way while they were doing all this. One is with the CPU bottlenecking. They want to try and put the game. They want to try and get the game to use GPU rather than most of the CPU, because that is where all the stuttering and maybe lag is coming from, and they want to try and make it more usable on the GPU. That way it'll have a smoother gameplay and also more advanced, whatever you call it, because they want to try and avoid the lag. Like I say, you're going to get stutter and lag every once in a while, not too much. But like I say, we also have an image of the controller for both the Xbox and the PS5. Now this is obviously not the final version, but this is what it looks like if you were to play it on the PlayStation or Xbox. Here we've got the PS5 controller. And then the next image you'll see in a few seconds will be an Xbox controller. Now I am going to be playing this on the Xbox controller. But speaking of release, it doesn't look like it could be 2026. It could be late 2026 or early 2027. But 2027 seems like a possible release. Now the question is, not just that, but we're going to go to, but it's not just console they're talking about, but they're talking about also putting it onto handheld devices. For example, that you can play on the Steam Deck. Now, could it be something like maybe like on the Nintendo Switch, like the new Nintendo Switch 2? Could they also be bringing the game to that? We don't know. But they want to try and do it on handhelds as well. Obviously, they're looking into that. But also the problems that we've got here, why it's taking so long, was now we know why, is because of the fact that some of the stuff that was obviously for these games to play was meant for the PC, and obviously it is quite a lot of work, and it is going to take time for SCS to figure all this out. But like I say, obviously even back in October they said it was about 90 to 95% done, but obviously we don't know if it may have took a turn and then it's made it longer. But the question is, a lot of people have been wondering as well, did SCS announce the console port too early? Because obviously some think it was too soon, but like I say, everyone's different. You got an opinion, but I personally think it could have been maybe announced too early. They could have maybe at least announced this maybe at Christmas or maybe start of 2026. But judging by release, it does look like it is going to be a 2027 release. But like I say, I could be wrong, but it is on its way. But like I say, it is going to take some time because they need to get all of the optimizations and all that. And also they've been mentioning about one of them mentioned about a Windows 12. Now, we don't know if they're planning on moving this game onto Windows 12, like just Windows 12, but I really do hope it'll work on Windows 11, because I currently play on Windows 11, and like I say, it probably will, because I've got like DX12. I use DX12 even though the game runs on DX11, but obviously they will need to move on to DX12 so that it works on the consoles. Like I say, coding isn't easy, and I mean, you're getting console players who are running out of patience, who can't bother waiting why it's taking so long. But like I say, it will come when it's ready. But I think I may have covered everything why it's... I don't know if I've covered it all, But I know the fact that obviously one of them is the Prism 3D, which is the game engine they use. Also, like, they had to recode it all, so they have to code it all from scratch. And these changes, like I said, the changes could affect the PC version too, because obviously it is going on the console. So any changes on console will affect the PC version. So like I said, they want to get this game working both games working perfectly. Now it is a CPU bottlenecking, and they want to try and use most of the game's resources on the GPU, so they want to focus on the GPU and rather than the CPU, because that's probably where the CPU one is what's causing some of these stutters and a little bit of lag. But they said a bit of stutter was acceptable back in the day, but as times went on, obviously it's some people won't accept it. But like I say, I've had stutters on my game, but like I say, it doesn't bother me. And like I say, even if this game does go for Windows 12, like I say, it's not going to stop me from upgrading. Like I say, I am planning on upgrading my computer in the near future, or getting a new unit if that ever happens. But you know what? It's fine, because I've got the console port to play. But anyways, I think I've covered all that is, but let me hear what you think. Do you think this was announced too early, which is putting pressure on the console community? Let me know in the description, in the comments below, and I'll get back to you. So thanks for watching, and please comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.